How's it going, guys? I did some sourcing today from 6 a.m. to 12. Drove around for 6 hours. Then came back to my in-laws' place, rested for about an hour. And I just drove home for another 5 or 6 hours. A little cooked, but wanted to hop on quick unannounced live, see if anybody wanted to hop on, ask some questions about eBay or business in general. You can ask me about anything about me personally, if you want to get to know me any better or anything like that as well. So, just a quick topic that I want to give a little chat about is if you want gold, you have to go where gold is. This is a really cool concept because if you want to find something, you have to go where that thing is in order to find it. For example, I wanted to find a really strong woman with the same values as me. So I went to places where I knew I could find her. I belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and they have a lot of different activities for young adults. So in order to find the woman that I wanted to, I went to those types of activities. If I want to find great items to sell on eBay, I have to go where those items are. If I want to literally find gold, I have to go to a gold mine or I have to go to a gold and silver shop. If you want something, you have to go where those things are. So a lot of my friends ask me, man, like I'm looking for like the girl that I want to marry, but like it's just so hard to find the girl that I want, you know? And I ask them like, well, where are you going to find her, you know? Like are you going to places where the woman that you want to marry isn't? You got to think like, do I want a girl with Christian values? Do I want a girl that has a career? Do I want a girl that wants to be a stay-at-home mom? Do I want a girl that has all these qualities? Well, you have to go where those girls are. A lot of people hop on and they say, well, there's nothing for me to sell on eBay because all of my thrift stores are terrible, or I don't know how to do online sourcing. Well, you got to go to where these items are. So the first step is to understand what you're looking for. You have to know what the gold is. Gold for me are remote controls. Gold for me are cameras. Gold for me are shirts that sell quick on eBay. So there's plenty of places outside of thrift stores where I can go for this gold, and it's up to us to figure out where those places are. There's a ton of different strategies for getting product to sell online. First off, you have to accumulate the knowledge to know what you're looking for. This is a great channel to do that. I love giving out bolos. Be on the lookout for items. I love giving information on how to find items to look for in the first place. I like to talk about how to find things where you live, so that way you can find those things to sell online. But yeah, if you guys want gold, you got to go to a gold mine. While we're on this topic, there's this thing I call it the grain of gold theory. So when you're mining, you got your pickaxe and you're just going and you're digging and you're digging and you're mining, and it's dust and it's dirt over and over and over again. And you dig for days, for months, sometimes even for years, and you get hints of gold. You get a speck here, a nugget there, but it's tough work. But if you keep digging, you finally hit that grain or that vein of gold, and it's life-changing. When it comes to eBay, when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to our lives in general, too many of us stop right before that grain of gold. I wish I had like a picture right here where it shows this miner and it shows all that he's dug, and then there's just a little bit more, and it shows this huge vein of gold that he gives up too early because it was too hard. You got to go where gold is, and you got to keep digging past the pain of not finding the grain, because it's coming soon. So there's my little rant. If you want gold, you got to go to where gold is. I have one comment and no questions. So looks like this isn't going to be a live Q&A. I guess I'll just post this as a video. unless someone asks me a question about eBay or YouTube, eBay or business, or even YouTube if you guys want to hop into that as well, or anything personal about me. But a few people have said, hey, someone just asked me what's up, and then that's it. So Don asked me how it's going. It's going great. I just got back from a little vacation, and yeah, was able to source a ton of stuff. I think I ended up getting like 400 items over the last 3 days. So it's going to be a lot of processing this week. But yeah, it's going to be a good time. Duckman said just picked up some Travis Matthew polos and a Tommy Bahama silk shirt today. Yep, those are two of my favorite bread and butter items to find. I pick up a lot of Travis Matthew in my area. And then Tommy Bahama, it's everywhere. I find a decent amount here in Utah as well. Amma Uzan says, how much profit do you aim to make on one item? So I don't really aim to make a specific profit, really. I just aim for sell-through. So I make sure that items are selling decently. And as long as it makes me $5 or $6, I'll pick it up. But I usually make about $25 profit per item. That's including all my expenses. I know that's pretty high to some people, could be pretty low to some others. I focus more on sell-through than I do profit. And yeah, so I make about $25 an item. When did you decide to do YouTube videos? So do you guys remember Vine? Vine was that app where you would make 6-second videos. So when I was in high school, Vine was huge, and I actually made Vines. I can't remember how many followers I ended up getting to. I think it was over 100,000. Things were going good. Things were starting to roll. I was getting a lot of attention. And then I went on my mission where I went to Mexico for 2 years, didn't have internet, didn't do any of that. And when I came back, Vine was dead. So that was pretty funny. But I kind of always just knew that I would be doing something along these lines. When I was in high school, people would ask me, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I would always jokingly say I wanted to host the Tonight Show. So it'd be the Tonight Show with Jake Ryder. I don't think I'll ever do that actually, but I just always kind of knew that I would end up on YouTube one day. I decided to start my YouTube channel about a year into eBay. I was doing eBay for a year, and I said, sweet, I'm going to add a revenue stream with YouTube, and I'm going to help other people on their journeys as well. So I built my store up for another 3 months. Then I released 2 videos, and they sucked. But that wasn't what stopped me. I just did not have enough time at that moment to give YouTube enough time. So I just grinded on my eBay for another 6 months, and now I'm growing this. I've been at it for about 3 weeks now. Sweet, we're getting a few more questions. Keep asking them. I'm going to do kind of a shorter live today, maybe just 30 to 45 minutes because I've got a ton of stuff to get done. But I wanted to hop on and talk to you guys for a minute. So keep asking questions. Hey, what's your view on calculated shipping? Anything over 2 pounds, I do calculated shipping. Calculated shipping is awesome. I'm gonna make a video about calculated shipping, give you guys some tips and tricks. Honestly, some that I would consider pro or expert tips. So be looking out for that video. Don Pepilio said, did I hear Scout? You sure did. My puppy is in the room with me. This is her on the floor hanging out. Love your drive and work ethic. You inspire a lot of us. Hey, thank you so much, Scouty. Did you know people are talking to you? They're asking about you? Yeah. Hey, thank you for that compliment. I actually really enjoy working. I'm one of those weird people that wake up and look forward to getting to work. I'm a weird guy. I love actually having this YouTube video where I can just give like 5 to 10 minute spiels because I'm a very weird person. Sometimes I drive around and I act like I'm on a podcast and I talk as if people were listening. But now I can actually do that on YouTube, so that's really fun. When did you decide to start lowering your prices on stuff? I do that every 45 days. If something has been sitting for 45 days, I put it on a 15% discount. Every 45 days after that, I mark it down 5% more until it gets to 30. If it's set at 30% for more than 45 days, I usually donate them or just let them fly for $2.99 plus shipping. have you ever thought about doing private label of your own products? So I have done that. I've been doing. I've had my hand in a few things. I actually just ordered a bunch of IKEA bags that are going to say J-Ride on the handle instead of IKEA. And I'll eventually be selling those to anyone that wants them. So that'll be fun. And then I'm thinking of also doing a fanny pack. And then my last name is Ryder, which is really cool. I love my name, Jake Ryder. And I've always wanted to do a sunglass company, but we'll just see where life takes me. I've done a little bit of private label stuff. I've also done drop shipping. I got one of my drop shipping companies up to a point where I could have private labeled it, but then under Donald Trump's policy, those huge Chinese tariffs like affected my business pretty hard. Like my margin went from like 32% to like 8 in like 5 days. Like it was a huge change. So I started to move away from drop shipping, but that actually ended up being a pretty decent deal. I don't want to get into politics, but everything leveled out and it was super fair for China and the United States, in my opinion. So it all worked out. But by that time, I was already on to different ventures. I'm newer to the channel and newer to reselling. How long did it take you to get traction? And what types of social media besides YouTube do you use? What did best for your business? I say this humbly. The first day that I listed on eBay, I got a sale. And I wasn't super great at it in the beginning. But by day like 25, I was getting like 2 or 3 sales a day. And then by month 2, I was getting 5 or 6 sales every single day. And I just kept slowly growing from then. So I don't know. I need to be a better teacher. But you should start to see traction almost immediately on eBay. So if you aren't seeing sales very quickly, look at your listings, look at the titles, look at the prices. If you guys are having trouble selling items, take a look at some YouTubers, and filter out the good ones from the bad ones. Pay attention to the guys that are actually teaching, because that's how I learned. Like I just hop onto Google and YouTube, and you can learn anything you need to start selling on eBay. Texas Lady says, hello, everyone. If you are okay with sharing, how much gross profit do you make a month? I make gross profit about $25 an item, and I sell on average 20 items a day. It's come down a tiny bit because I've been doing a little more traveling, and I haven't been paying as much attention to my listings. So down to about 17 items a day, but I'm making about $20,000 a month. And then during November, December, January, and February, I was making about $35,000 a month. Greetings from a German living in Mexico. Chido, ¿hablas español o solamente alemán? Due to my health situation, I became a full reseller about a year ago. I really appreciate your openness, and the ground you're standing on. God bless you, Rolo. Hey, thanks, man. I really enjoy those compliments. So thank you very much. Also, I speak Spanish, if you guys were confused. Do you take risks on unique, say maybe vintage items that don't have a huge sell-through rate, or only focus on sell-through? Yeah, you can tell which items are dope. So I just barely today or yesterday, I just barely bought a 2002 Salt Lake City US Ski Olympic team jacket. It has 0 solds. I haven't checked Terapeak yet, but I bought it, so I'm gonna sell that. I'm confident that that'll sell. I'm excited about eBay international shipping, more outreach, more sales. That's true. I'm a big believer, I guess, in that, in international shipping. I've been watching a few weeks now. You are one of my favorites to watch. What's your name? My name's Jake Ryder. J-Ride Flips. I've only been around for a couple weeks, so it looks like you caught me early. Do you ever sell women's clothes? I sell a couple. I've talked about this before. Women's clothes, there's more nuance to it. There's way more differences in like cuffs and collars and shoulder lengths and knee lengths and all that stuff. So I just don't really want to do the research for it. And returns on women's clothing is about triple from men's. So I kind of stay away from it. But I do pick up like Black and Purple Label, Ralph Lauren, and Lauren Lauf. Holy cow. You guys know what I'm trying to say. I've also sold a few women's Carhartt flannels and things of that nature. But, I also sell women's scrubs. Women's scrubs are... There's a pro tip. Everyone remember minute 15:26. Women's scrubs, especially figs. Killer. My first one sold same day as well. It was a Ralph Lauren Polo Bear shirt I got for $3. Yeah, Polo Ralph Lauren. A lot of people will say it's saturated because technically it is. But if your listing is better than everybody else's, you're gonna comb through the competition. Awesome Spanish. Thanks, Texas lady. Haha, I do speak 7 languages and Spanish is one of them. And indeed German. Yeah, that's cool. Dude, learning one language was enough. And I hear it's once you're bilingual, it's easier to become trilingual, and it's even easier to become quadrilingual, if that's a word. But yeah, I have no business learning a third language. It's just not going to happen for me. For clear plastic cloth bags, 9x12 for dress shirts and 12x15 for jackets and sweaters. I don't use the clear bags. I just hang them up on that rack, and then they go from the rack to these poly mailers. That's it. These are, I believe, 9x13. And if I have a huge jacket, then I will shove it halfway in here, and then I'll grab another one and combine it and then tape it down the middle. How many employees do you have? So I have 4 very, very, very part-time employees. So I have one employee that does about 30 hours of work a week, and then I have another guy who he's my brother-in-law. He does about 15 hours a week. And then I have another friend who, whenever he's in town, he'll just get listings done with me. So he'll do like 14 hours in 2 days with me. We'll just grind. So, and I have another person that just kind of, yeah. Once I get to 20,000 subscribers, I'm going to hire a YouTube employee to help me with thumbnails and directing and editing and all that stuff. And I just barely hired this employee, I guess, but I just hired a voice coach. I'm a strong believer that every time I say or I deserve 1,000 less views per video. So I'm trying to work out not using those filler words and also working on my creativity and working off the fly. So invest in yourself. The timing couldn't be better. I am currently having an issue with a customer at this exact moment. My store doesn't generally accept returns, with exceptions, of course. Yeah, I would recommend just everyone has their different opinions on returns. I would accept all returns. It just helps. It just does. Kathy Adams says different people have different theories on what they sell: thrift, flip, retail, arbitrage, pallets, etc. How do you decide on your area and why? The best way to do it, in my opinion, is to strictly do thrift stores at the beginning and buy piece by piece. Sometimes you spend $700 on a pallet, you work on it for 85 hours, and you lose $200. But if you only bought piece by piece, it's a lot slower. It takes a lot more patience. But if you just buy things that you know have a fast sell through and make you a decent profit, you're going to learn what's in your area. And then once you've got your bearings, I wouldn't buy a pallet or even like a lot on eBay until you have sold 1,000 items. That's just my opinion. How are you, Jake? LOL. Sorry, I came in already on fire because this customer. Yeah, it happens. I draw a lot of inspiration from Gary Vaynerchuk, and I just barely listened to one of his podcasts where he says you just have to control those emotions. Dude, it's the hardest part of being a human, and it's the hardest part of being a business owner. Just, yeah. Angry customers suck, but it's just what we got to do. You guys want to come with me to let my out? I'm going to keep answering some questions, so don't click away. This is only going to take 13 more seconds, and we will be back in business. Come on, Scouty Bing. Go outside. Yeah, good puppy. This was the first time, 4 people clicked away. This was the first time that I left my dog with other caretakers for 4 days, and she was very pumped to see my wife and I when we got back. Okay. Do you bulk list? I can get about 200 listings done a day max, and you said get 4,000 a week. I don't know what you're referring to about if I said 4,000 a week, I don't think I ever said that, but I list 25 items every day. Oh, I got 400 items. I got 400 items this week. And I'm just going to draft 50 a day for like 8 days. I love doing vintage shirts. They're okay for both genders, and this is where I get the most knowledge. Yep. Yeah. Vintage shirts are awesome. You just put unisex typically for like concert t-shirts and things like that. But then there's also gender specific. So it's important to do all that. What measurements do you put on a poly mailer when you ship? I ship everything through Pirate Ship, and they have a polymer. I use Pirate Ship, and they have a poly mailer option, and it's just 2 measurements instead of 3. And so I usually just put 8x8 or whatever size it is. What is your strategy on offers? Is there a certain ROI you'll take even though you wait? You can get more, or do you wait? So every morning when I wake up, I have usually like 50 offers to send. I send 20% offers on all my listings. And then when people send me offers, I accept a ton of them, or I counter every single one. But I usually, if someone's like going to play ball with me, I usually accept an offer. So if I have an item up for $50 and someone offers me 25, this is a psychological tip. So like test it out in your own store. If I have something up for 50 and someone offers me 25, I immediately decline it. And then they're either just going to walk away, or they're going to be like, oh, I really want this item. And then they'll make a better offer. And then I come in with the offer on top, and that usually gets it. But if I have something listed for $30 and they offer me 22, I accept it. If I have something for $24 and they offer me 19, I accept it typically. That's more of an art than a science for me, which is weird because I usually have almost every process down to a science. That one's a little more artsy for me, as Eric Spolstra would say. I just started, and I got a massive amount of inventory because I tell people at garage sales that I'm a reseller, and I will take everything that is left over from their sale for free or very cheap. Yep, it's a good way to get some inventory. Just don't get caught holding all of the stuff that doesn't sell that can eventually slow down your store. So make sure that you're listing quality items that will sell through and you don't run into any issues. It's always good to get cheap product, but you got to get cheap product that sells. Is there a way you can track the package on Pirate Ship? Yeah. Yep. It's all fully tracked and automated. Can you expand on having the 250 drafts you've said are very important? Thanks. Yeah, not sure what the answer you're looking for. My wife just pulled up, so my dog's going a little crazy. Every morning I launch 25 items from my draft. Then I go shopping at thrift stores. And then when I come back, I create the listing completely. But then instead of hitting list your item, I just put save for later. So instead of launching directly from there, it goes to my draft bank that I build up to about 245. And then every morning I list 25 and it goes down to 220. And I build it back up to 245. Then on Saturday, I list 25 and it goes down to 220. And then I don't refill it. And then Sunday, I do another 25 and it goes down to 195. And then I draft about 30 or 35 every day until it gets back to the 245, if that answered your question. I'm on my 3rd month of eBay. Using your tips, my views have increased significantly. Thank you. Sales still not where I'd like them to be, though. Any suggestions? Yeah, you're not going to like the suggestion. It's be patient and keep working really hard. Rome wasn't built overnight, so it sucks. But really, the answer to most questions is just keep working through it, and then you'll look back 6 months later and you'll be like, wow. And then you'll look back a year later and you'll be like, wow. And then you'll look back 5 years later, and if you worked every day during those 5 years, you'll really be like, wow. So yeah, just takes time. Keep learning, keep researching, keep improving every single day, and it's just going to take time. Save 10% of your income minimum. That'll also help you get there. Why do you use Pirate Ship over the eBay shipping? Because it allows me to use my rewards miles credit card, and because of that, I have a card that gets ×3 points on all shipping labels. So I go on like 2 or 3 pretty dope vacations every year, virtually for free, because it's a purchase that I was already going to make. Hey man, loving the content. Our family watches your episodes together as we have gotten into reselling quite a bit. You have great advice. Thank you. That's really cool that you guys watch as a family. I know a lot of couples watch things together, but I haven't necessarily heard of a family that watches together, so that's pretty cool. If an item isn't vintage, what's the most amount of time you should hold it? 1 month to 45 days or 3 months? I don't completely understand the question. I think you're talking about holding it on eBay. Just as long as it takes. You don't have to follow my method completely. My method is to get things rolling. But I see people sell things 2 years after listing it all the time, 1 year after listing it. I don't recommend that, and that's not my model. But I just list things and then I just keep marking them down until they sell. And if you get good enough items, you don't have to mark down many of your items. Adam says, I use Pirate Ship and use cashback credit card. Yep, I do that as well. It's really awesome. How long do you thrift normally? And is there a mile range for travel that you limit yourself to? I feel like it's tough in my area to find quality items. So I live in a small town at the bottom of Utah where we have one bigger, really awesome thrift store. And then outside of that, it's pretty much nothing. So I just go to that one thrift store every day, and then the 2 or 3 really small ones a few times throughout the week. And then I rely a lot on buying things off of eBay that have errors or don't use the correct keywords. And then I sell them back on eBay for what they should have gone for. And then I just barely got back from a trip from up north, hanging out with my extended family, my in-laws. And every morning while I was there, I thrift for 6 hours, and I try to get as many items as I can. This trip, I got about 400 items in 3.5 days. So yeah, I just make those trips often, and every time I'm up there, I get a ton of items. So if I lived in northern Utah, where my in-laws are, I would probably drive to 3 or 4 thrift stores a day, which would end up being about 80 miles a day is what I would do if I lived up north. Since you are an everything seller, am I better off selling a large home stereo system on eBay or Facebook Marketplace due to the shipping? Depends what you consider large, because I sell big old printers and subwoofers on eBay all the time. It also depends where you live. If you live in Los Angeles, I would put it up on Facebook Marketplace. If you live in a very small town in Kentucky, I would put it on eBay. Yo, Andy. Are you going to make a video that goes more in depth about sourcing items for eBay itself? Love the content. Yeah, I don't super understand that question. If you could give me like going to a thrift store or shopping online. I've done videos of that already. I don't completely understand exactly what you're talking about. I told my friend in Houston about the Deseret Industries thrift store. She's going to check it out. Yeah, the Deseret Industries is goated. It is awesome. And yeah, I haven't been to the one in Houston yet, but I'm sure it's very similar to the ones in Utah. Would you be interested in buying 500 high-end clothing items? I have handpicked these over the last few years. Yeah, send me an email in the on my channel page. It's in there somewhere. It's just jridephillips@gmail.com. We may be able to work some out. Chris says, I live in a small town in Kentucky. LOL. Are you the one that asked about selling it? if you were the one that asked me about selling that on Facebook Marketplace, that's crazy that I did that as the example. That's funny. What's the best box to use for wholesaling 100 pieces of clothing? I've never done that, but probably a 12 by 12 by 12 box, or if that's not big enough, a 24 by 10 by 6 would probably work. What's your content schedule look like? You've been seriously consistent. I am addicted to work and I have hyperfixation. Right now I'm currently hyperfixated on YouTube. So yeah, when I have time to get stuff up, I get it up. I'm very regimented with my morning. So I get all my priorities done before noon. And then from noon until I go to sleep, I can do whatever I want, which includes sometimes hiking or golfing or doing things like that. But a lot of times I just really enjoy working. So a lot of times it just ends up being more YouTube videos. But yeah, I will eventually lose the hyperfixation for YouTube, but I think that I will eventually settle into like 3 videos a week. But I think that is months and months down the line. I'm usually fixated on things for a while. Texas Gambler said, no, that was me. He was the one talking about the selling on Facebook Marketplace or eBay. Be careful shipping stereo systems, especially turntables. Craigslist Hunter had a good video on that. Yeah, there's a few where I won't ship them on eBay because, especially like those 100 disc players that are like the huge CD stereo systems with the like rotating 100 disc player. I've sent out 3 of those early on in my eBay days, and all 3 of them got broken, and all 3 of those returns cost me like over $200 each. So definitely don't recommend that. 92 people are live in here. That's awesome. I think that's a record for me. 100 would be awesome. 24 of you have liked it. That's cool. Hoping to get to 100 one day, but I don't think today will be the day. Lisa says she's also in a small town in Kentucky. Yeah, seems like that's where a lot of you guys are from, I guess. You mentioned that you find items on eBay to flip because they use the incorrect keywords. I saw that you sourced a ton of those Kobe shirts in a previous video, so I was just curious. Yeah. So I'll make a video on it, but a lot of people will put extremely rare Nike shirt and it gets buried because no one is searching extremely rare. So like those really awesome shirts that go for a ton of money, they get put up for auction and not a lot of people see it because the incorrect keywords are used and you can snipe them and sell them for way more money. I'm hyperfixated on guitar and art again. I force myself to do eBay a little every day or I will get slowed down. I feel you, brother. Yeah, hyperfixation, dude, it can be a awesome tool in your tool belt. And it can also be a terrible thing that limits you from your potential. So make sure to use it wisely, brother. Juju says, hi, I have been revising my listings from watching videos. Yeah, that's a really important step in the eBay journey, is understanding keywords and title structure and making changes as necessary to get more sales. Facebook Marketplace is thriving here, but it definitely has its dangers, especially in Mexico. Yeah, I lived in Mexico like 9 years ago, and every time I needed to access the internet, I would go to a cyber cafe. Those definitely don't exist here, at least in Utah anymore. So it would be interesting. I need to visit Mexico again and see what it's like down there. Adam says, smash the like button, everyone. Thanks, Adam. Duckman says, when is it a good time to pay for a subscription for an eBay store? Which one do you use? How should I decide on which store to pick? So you can actually Google which store subscription should I use, and eBay has a page. You put in how many items you have, how many you list regularly, and they will say, oh, you have enough items that it would be more beneficial for you to have a basic store rather than paying these insertion fees, or it's better to have this premium store instead of paying these fees. So when it comes to a fee-to-fee basis, I would just Google. I can also make a video about it later. But you just want to make sure you're not paying heavy insertion fees when it's more worth it to just pay a flat subscription fee. And then if you want to capitalize on promotions and newsletters and coupons and things of that nature, then you can get a, well, I think, can I finish this thought? if you want to start using offers and coupons and newsletters, then you can get a store, because that's what unlocks that feature. Right now we have 100 people watching, and I just got a super like. Thank you so much, Fire Me Philosophy, dude. Okay. I don't want to ask for super likes. First, dude, it is just the biggest dopamine hit in the world when someone just gives you $2 or $3 watching you from a different state or dude. It is insane. Um, what do you feel about the eBay Vero program? Might need to give me a little more information on your question, but it's just part of business. It's part of free capitalism. It's part of law and structure. It's important. You need to be able, if you have a trademark for something, or if you have a copyright for something, you should be able to say, hey, like, no one can. Okay, so here's an example. If I am Patagonia and I sell a top of the line jacket with awesome technology in it that no one else has, and I give a 100-year warranty on that, it's almost it's you can't, as a secondhand seller, you can't offer that same warranty. So that's why a lot of companies have their Vero programs, is because Jake Ryder can't give a 100-year warranty on a jacket that he found in the bottom of a bin at a flea market. Does that make sense? So I do believe that, you should be able to secondhand sell things. That may be a different discussion for a different day, but the Vero policy is in place to protect brands. It's also in place to protect sellers and buyers. One of the most popular Veros is medical products, and that's for us. If you sell someone a CPAP and they die using that CPAP, you'll go to jail. Like, straight up, you'll go to jail for that. So that Vero policy is in place to protect you. If you sell some prescription glasses and someone puts them on and drives a car and kills someone and they die in the process, you are also liable for that as well. So that's why the Vero is in place. We got 102 people watching this live stream. That is awesome, guys. I can't believe 100 people would show up to just watch me ramble on about eBay and business. Thank you guys so much for coming. Grammy said, wouldn't it be better to list everything ASAP instead of keeping drafts? I never understood the concept. Please help. Yes. Consistency is far better than just randomness. So what if today you get 20 items and then tomorrow you only get one, because your thrift stores are that up and down? Or what if you list 15 items today and then you have a hernia and you have to get a surgery and you're down for 8 days, and then you don't list anything for 8 days? It would have just been better to list 5 a day from your draft, to stay consistent, to show eBay that you're consistent, also to psychologically and to wow, to trick your mind into being consistent. That the biggest battle is showing up, and if you can show up every day, it becomes a habit, and you're just going to be a lot better off. Master Manic Mexico just gave me a super chat, and it says 25. I'm not sure if that's pesos or dollars, but either way, that's really cool. I think it says MX 25, so I think that means pesos, which I super appreciate. That's really awesome. Maybe you can clarify to me if it was pesos or dollars. But yeah, I remember 7 years ago when I lived in Mexico and I had those big old pesos in my pockets. It was awesome. Says here, so we hope you come back soon. I personally live in Tepozistan. It's a small town, but it offers a lot of flea markets. Yeah. Do they call them tianguis over there? Dude, I loved the tianguis in Mexico. And due to the tourism and the European communities here as well, the short distance to Mexico City, I have great sources. Yeah, dude, you're actually probably freaking running the game over there. Play them like podcasts when you are traveling between thrift stores. I think. Oh, sorry, Adam was talking to Jennifer in there. Snugglebug4TM says, "Come on, people, hit that like button. Thank you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up." Says Texas Lady. Thank you. Then there's that super chat, dude. 25 pesos. That's so sick, dude. I miss pesos. Can you share your bookkeeping system, spreadsheets? Yeah, I'll do a video on that. Most people will be surprised, and some people are frustrated with how simple my process is, because it doesn't have to be line by line, item by item. And I'm just a guy on YouTube here for entertainment. I'm not a CPA. Don't This is not financial advice. But taxes don't have to be a scary time of your life, um, if you're just doing what you're supposed to. So a lot of people like stress that they're going to get audited or the government's going to tear down their livelihood. But if you just do what you're supposed to, it's all going to be good. Um, yeah, Masters Maniac in Mexico said it's pesos, dude. Sweet. Yes, you can bank listings in your drafts and upload them as needed. Juju says, also, is there a certain Texas Instrument calculator that sells better than others? I really appreciate you doing these videos. Yes. So I'll answer this just kind of in a blanket statement, and then specifically with all brands, there's going to be their lower end items. Because like other companies, they have their bread and butter items, and then they're also higher end items. So like they have regular scientific calculators that sell for $3 free shipping on eBay. So don't touch those. Just because it says Texas Instrument on it doesn't mean it's worth money. But all of their graphing calculators, anything that has like a bigger screen. So like the TI-84, the TI-84 Plus, TI-85, the TI-89, those are all really good examples of calculators. The TI series is the Texas Instrument the 80 series is really good. The 82 and the 83 doesn't sell for as much. But yeah, the 84s and things of that nature. You just have to go into eBay, type in TI-84 calculator, and then see which ones sell for 50 and 70, and see which ones sell for 5 and 7, and then just gravitate to the ones that sell for more and stay away from the ones that sell for less. What brand of women clothing is a hot seller for you now? So like I said, I don't sell a ton of women's clothing, like at all. Like literally I've sold like 3, and they've just been Carhartt, and I sold a purple label Ralph Lauren women's dress shirt for like $240 that I got at the bins. So that was dope. Have you ever thought about sourcing at church sales, or do your churches not have a lot of sales? Yeah, churches in Utah, there's not a lot of church sales because Deseret Industries is owned by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and they get a ton of inventory and stuff, and then they just spit it out for cheap. So there's not like really church sales. Like the thrift stores here in Utah are, dude, they're money. They're freaking goated. So yeah, not a lot of rummage or church sales, but they spread out here and there. What items do you strictly avoid trying to flip? Medical equipment, stay far, far, far away because you're not allowed to sell them and you'll get your account suspended. But there's items that you find along the way that you think sell fast or sell for a lot of money, but then they sell slow or they don't sell for a lot of money that you just start to move away from. One category that I've moved away from is pots and pans. Like especially when I first started eBay and I didn't know what I was doing, I would see that pans were selling for $40. I'm like, whoa. But then I realized it was $40 free shipping, and they were like $30 to ship. So then you pay $6 for a pan, you like lose money sometimes on $40. So that was rough. But then like I just barely sold 3 hex clad pans, so it just depends on the brand there. But yeah, I've moved away from pans, and I'm moving more and more into smaller and smaller items as the day goes on. Why do people bank drafts? Why not just list it when you finish it? Can't sell as a draft. Am I missing something? Yeah, so I've explained that a ton of times, and I'll continue to explain it because I'm a big component for drafts. It's all about consistency. Tomorrow you may wake up with a hernia and you won't be able to list for 8 days. And now what do you do? Tomorrow I can wake up and my wife can say, hey, do you just want to go to the mountains today? And I can say, yeah, because I have a draft bank. I don't have kids, but if my kid was like, oh, mom, I forgot to tell you, there's an assembly. Can you make it? Oh, of course, son. Yeah, I have 250 drafts. Let's go. I can take the next 4 days off if I need to. You know, if you bank items, then you will not be able to list them. You'll have those bank items ready to make live because you want to list consistently every day. Yeah, so Thrifty Redhead just answered that question for me as well. Same here. I'm in Mexico for 14 years, and no one ever threatened me in any given way. It's all up to you and your will to adapt. Same in Texas. Okay, they're kind of talking back and forth to each other. Thrifty flipping pickers. Love your content. Just found you on YouTube. How do you keep track of your cost of your purchases? Do you wear a GoPro like Kevin Commonwealth Picker? What works for you? Thanks. I have a GoPro. I actually a video should be coming out soon where this lady was at a very well organized garage sale. She had like a few Harley Davidson figurines and then like two vintage Care Bears. I'm like, oh, you don't have more of this stuff, do you? And then she brought me into the back, and her husband was a Coca-Cola, M&M, vintage racing car hats, and Matchbox and Hot Wheels collector. And they just let me in to their 4 garages worth of all those collectibles. And I was wearing the GoPro for that. So be looking out for that. I don't do a ton of GoPro content, but I will do some here and there in the future and maybe do even more. When do you think is a good time to actually pay for an eBay store subscription? I just answered that. You can actually go search into Google eBay store subscriptions, and they have a page where they help you calculate when it's worth it because of the insertion fees or just the flat subscription rate. So you can Google that, and they can tell you, oh, once you hit this many listings, you should go basic. Once you hit this many listings, you should go, I think the next one is standard or something like that. I can't remember. And then once you hit this many listings, you should go premium. And then once you hit this many, which most people never will, it's called the anchored subscription. And then if you also want to capitalize on coupons and promotions and different things like that, then you can just immediately sign up for the stores, because that can be huge game changers in your business as well. So whenever you're ready for that. Pots and pans are still handmade here, very cheap and basically used to beat up poor husbands like me. Yeah, it's funny. Seek and ye shall find. That's true. If you have delays in listing, does eBay not show your listings as much? We need to be consistently feeding the eBay machine. Yeah, here on YouTube land, it's a huge debate. I don't understand why. You have to view eBay as an algorithm, and the algorithm is a machine. You got to feed it every day, but also you just have to realize that like there's basic principles to success and health and wealth and spirituality and discipline in life in general. If you just decide, hey, I do this every single day no matter what happens, you're gonna have more time to do things outside of that. You're gonna be a more disciplined person. You're just gonna be a better person overall. Like just be deadly consistent, and live like no one else so you can live like no one else. Everyone else just lives like, oh, I'll list when I can. I'll do as I please. But if you can just sacrifice and live like no one else is, and by that I mean just work and get your stuff done, you can retire at 32 and live the rest of your life however the way you'd want to. I'll probably be able to retire by the time I'm 32 if I'd like to, but I'm addicted to working, so I think I will be working at the age of 87 because I just enjoy it. A GoPro on the Tianguis would replace a full military training special forces. Dude, I used to walk. So on my mission to Mexico, I had a white shirt and tie, and I was in Puerto Vallarta for a while. And as I would walk down the streets, the Humvees with the full military issued guys with their AKs and their stuff, they would always follow me with their sight just to like scare me or like I don't know. It was fun though. They would always just line me up and follow me for a minute, and then realize that I was just out there talking to people about Jesus. Do you have any videos sourcing pawn shops? Nope, I don't source from pawn shops. That would just be another big distraction for me, and I think it would deter me from getting more profitable items at a lower rate, and it would deter me from doing more YouTube content, things like that. I'm probably never going to do that. I know myself, I will get too distracted on things like that, but I'm sure that there's people out there that make money from pawn shops. People are saying, what's up? What are your thoughts on promoted listing percentage on eBay? Do you have pay-per-click? I don't use pay-per-click because I haven't sat down and done the research necessary to make that informed decision yet. But I do the standard promotions at 2.6% on all of my items. Canine Flip says, it's like the gym mentality. You got to show up every day and you will get what you put into it. Yep, that's true. Talking about consistency again. Hard work beats talent, and talent won't work hard. There's plenty of sayings around it. Like just get your stuff done and you're gonna live an awesome life. But yeah, we're 50 minutes in and we don't have any other questions. We've made it to the bottom. I'd like to go another 10 minutes if you guys have questions, but if not, we can just go ahead and end it here. It's been a pretty good live so far. I feel like I'm getting more and more comfortable with you guys. I'm really focusing on not saying like as much, so I'm hoping I'm doing better on that. But yeah, it's going great, as I just said. But let's go ahead and see some more questions here. Thanks for all the helpful. Oh, I just got like 5. Sorry. Thanks for all the helpful advice. I'm new to flipping and YouTube content creations. Yeah, I'll keep giving what I think is quality advice, and I hope that you guys will enjoy it. I will be heading to Goodwill this weekend. What do you recommend I source? It depends what you've already been selling. But if you just watch my videos, what I source are I like small electronics, but you also have to be able to test them and list them properly. Okay, this is my recommendation. Whatever you already know about, for example, some people just already know a lot about coins because they like them and they collect them. I would sell coins. If you really are into fashion and trends and you're a woman, I would do women's clothing. If you're into fashion and trends and you're a man, then I would do men's clothing. And I would just keep building my base around things that I already know a good amount about. Pokemon cards, do you sell and whatnot? No. Again, that would just be another distraction for me, and I'd have to learn the whole platform. Whatnot has actually reached out to me on Facebook. They haven't reached out to me on YouTube yet, but I'm sure they will. I may delve into it one day, but as of right now, it's just more of a distraction for me. But I know a lot of people do really well on Whatnot, and it's a really good time for a lot of people. I've bought basketball cards off of Whatnot before, but I've never sold on Whatnot. Great live, thank you. Hey, thank you so much. If you haven't smashed the like button, do it before you leave. Thanks, Adam. Love the support. Anything interesting in your Timu box behind you? So my grandmother-in-law, my wife's grandma, lives up north, and she has a sister that lives in my town here down south, and so she always sends packages down with us that she buys a ton of stuff for her sister, and they have a really awesome relationship. So I have no idea what's in that box. Love your show, generosity and respect for your viewers. Thank you so much. This is kind of a paradox, but I'm trying to learn the greatest balance between empathy and reality, if that makes sense. So it's really hard to tell people, hey, I understand why that's hard and why these challenges are impeding your success. But if you're struggling, like it's almost always your fault. I'm working really hard on how to mesh those two things together, because if there's always something you can be doing better. There's always something you can do to improve your life and the lives around you. And so I'm really trying to be a very empathetic, motivating person. And it kind of conflicts sometimes, but I believe that you can mesh the two, and I'm going to do that. Here's some advice. Never trust a fart. Okay. Sounds like some great advice, Mark. If someone is a weird size when I'm going to ship it and it feels like it's getting quoted too high of a price for shipping, should I only ever put the exact measurements in, or can I mess with that a little? Yeah, I'll make a video on that. So I haven't explained this well in the past, and I'm going to go over it quickly here, but I'm going to make a video on it later. If I sell a printer that's 20 inches by 20 inches by 10 inches, it's going to be super expensive, especially if someone in like New York wants it. It's going to be like over $100 is going to be their quote. So what I do is I put 12 by 12 by 12. That shows them a quote of like $60 instead of 100. Or if you're in Nevada, which is very close to me, if I put 20 by 20 by 8, it's going to show them a quote of $40. But if I put it 12 by 12 by 12, it's going to show them a quote of like $18. Then they buy it. And then before I ship it, I put in the actual measurements. And then with my discount from eBay, it ends up being still under the $18 that they paid. It's still only like $11, if that made sense. So if you have like these huge items, put the actual weight, but then put the 12 by 12 by 12, so that way it's cheaper for your customer. And then when you go change it to the actuals, as long as the weight is correct, once you change it to the actual measurements, it's still going to be less than they paid for. So it ends up being a good deal for the buyer and a good deal for you, the seller. All right, we got about 5 more minutes here. I'll get to these questions and then we'll call it. Thank you so much. There's 98 viewers right now. There's 105 viewers now. This is awesome. I bought 8 Callaway clubs today for $30. I'm worried if it was a gamble. Callaway is awesome. Even the ones that aren't worth too much, they're all going to be worth at least $20 in my experience. If they're shiny or have any color to them at all, they're going to be worth a ton. Were they Big Berthas or what kind of series were there? I think you made a great purchase. Any good rookie cards in your PC? Yeah, so PC, for those of you that don't know, that's in the card collecting world, that stands for personal collection. I've been trying to limit my personal collection. I currently have 25,000 basketball cards. It's way too many. There's a lot of controversy around him right now, but I really like Ja Morant, so I have a ton of Ja Morant rookies. Giannis Antetokounmpo is my favorite player, so I have a lot of him. I also collect a little bit of Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley because I'm a Utah Jazz fan. A few more questions here. In wintertime, is finding tougher, I would imagine. Do you stockpile for those items? Yeah, so here's a pro tip. And some people may disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine. But summer slowdown's a real thing. You're going to see less sales overall in the majority of categories. There's still categories that are going to sell fast, like travel and outdoor. But sales tend to go down during the summer because you're not buying things for other people for Christmas, and you're not buying things for yourself during January, February with your tax return. So sales go down during the summer. But during the summer, people have more free time. So there's more spring cleaning and there's less rain. So you can get more done in your garage and your backyard and things like that. So donations go up during the summer. And there's also garage sales. So you're able to buy more from the garage sales during the summer. So the summer is the time where you want to be a bit more aggressive on your buying because there's more out there to buy. And then during the winter, less people are donating items and there's no garage sales unless you're from like Texas or Florida or California. And even then they still go considerably down. But summer is a time to build your inventory, and then winter is a time to sell that inventory. So that's kind of the way that I look at it. Summer, I want my store to grow. Winter, I want my store to shrink. You are correct about your work ethic. You reap what you sow. Yeah, put that work in and get that reward out. I took advice on someone on your brands and got Wrangler dress shirt and some Travis Matthew. Yeah, just keep looking for shirts, keep finding some stuff, see what works for you. But there's a lot of Wranglers that aren't worth much, and there's a lot of Wranglers that are worth a ton. So just make sure you're finding the right ones. The blue tag with the silver writing goes for more than the common tags that we see today. When paying cash for items at garage sales, how do you keep track of your costs besides memory or a GoPro? Any recommendations besides a GoPro or relying on memory? Yeah, just the easiest way to do it is to just notice trends. So like you can look at everything you bought over 1 month, and then average it, and then just apply that every single time you buy something. You can do it over 6 months. Now you're going to have even more data, and you can just average it. So whether you buy something for $2 or for $10, if your average cost of goods is $4, You can just say, okay, I bought 18 items today times 4. That's how much cost of goods was. And I just do that every single month. Do you ever fear dealing with sunglasses being fake? I'm a little worried to mess with them because of that. Yeah, so some sunglasses are fake. So you just got to look out for those. But yeah, you can usually just tell by feeling them, their flex, their quality. You can spot fake Ray-Bans from a mile away. So, and some fakes are better than others. But yeah, you just got to make sure that what you're getting is quality. And if you do sell fake, eBay will immediately let you know, and you can just start to stay away from similar items like that. But I sell sunglasses every single day of my life. How do you test and prep VHS DVD combo units? I actually filmed half that video, so that'll come out eventually. But I just have an RCA cable, the red, yellow, and white prongs. Plug it into my TV, and then I plug it into the unit, and then I put a DVD in, and I play it, and I fast forward it, and I rewind it, make sure that works. Do the same side with the VHS. Do the other side with the VHS. Fast forward, rewind, all that good stuff. Just make sure it works, and then I sell it. And I did a video on it, so it'll be coming out soon. 25,000, you can build a baseball card house, but thank you. I will tell my wife so she stops to complain about my 500 action figures. Oh, 500 action figures probably takes up more space than 25,000 basketball cards. It might be close. We'll see. But yeah, I definitely have too many basketball cards, and I'm trying to get it down, but I have a ton of them. Skipped my question. Sorry, road tripping drone. If you want to ask your question again, I'll get to it. I'm not the best. I don't want to go 10 a day yet. I saw that. That doesn't sound like a question to me. How to strategize a bump in item count without increasing daily listings? I'm at 250, but could actually have 500 items, but I'd want to jump from 5 to 10 listings a day. Thoughts? Yeah, so what I would do, so I've done this, like I always have in my head, like, okay, once I get to 1,000 items, I'm gonna slow down a little bit, but I never did. And then once I get to 1,500 items, I'm gonna slow down a little bit, but I never did. Now I've gotten to 2,000, I've actually slowed down a little bit, which is good. But yeah, you're never gonna get penalized for doing more. So if you have that huge death pile or money pile, whatever you want to call it, you can do 5 a day, and then you can do like 22 a day if you'd like to, and then go back to 5. There's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you never go below that baseline. So if you wanted to get to 500 very quickly, you can definitely do that. What I would recommend though is just doing 10 forever, and then getting better at sourcing, and then doing 12 forever, and then doing 15 forever. But there's a million ways to skin a cat. You can record your purchases when leaving a garage sale in a receipt book. Keep it in your car. Yep, that's good advice too. However you guys want to do your taxes is up to you. But more importantly, it's up to the CPA who you should be talking to, especially if you're running a business. It would not be wise to do your own taxes if you are making more than $600 a year and it's not automatically being taken out for you by an employer. 108 actives. That's cool, man. This is awesome. Sanjay says, I'm from Korea. It's cool. One of my friends in my church, we serve missions across the globe, and one of my friends just barely got called to South Korea, so he's gonna be there for 2 years. Great channel. Do you buy and sell sports cards too, or just collect? I just collect. But I'm actually looking to just liquidate a ton of my cards and get my personal collection down to 200, and then just I've kind of like I've mentioned, I hyperfixate on a lot of things, and I really hyperfixate on buying cards for a minute. Okay, this is a cool story. I've never been scammed on eBay because when I first started selling on eBay, I had 340 feedback because I bought like 4,000 cards, 1 or 2 or 3 at a time for like 2 months straight off of eBay, and I got a ton of feedback. And then by the time that I finally started selling on eBay, scammers were like, "Oh, he's got a blue star, almost 400 feedback. We're not messing with him." So that was awesome. Scorpion says, found your channel recently, and I wanted to say I appreciate all the content, very informative, and just seeing all the value in so many things is great for the knowledge bank. Yeah, thank you so much. That is my goal. My goal is to give extreme value. So it really is awesome to hear people use that word when talking about my videos. Like, dude, that is the goal. Yeah, I'm a strong believer that if you give more value than you can receive, you will start to receive more value than you can give. You can call that karma. You can call it God, the universe. You can call it becoming a better version of yourself, whatever you want to call it. If you keep giving, you will just get more, I promise. And you shouldn't give to just receive. But if you're just a good person, you're just so many more doors are going to be opened up to you. So my goal is to truly give extreme value every time I hop on lives, or every time I record a video, or every time I sell a product. Your titles say, if you want gold, go where gold is. I don't understand. Yeah, so if you want gold, you're not going to find it at a bar. If you want gold, you're not going to find it at your Kroger or Albertsons. You have to go to a gold mine. If you want good items on eBay, to sell on eBay, you have to go where good items are sold. And you have to do the research to understand what those good items are. So if you want good items to sell on eBay, but you go to the same mom and pa thrift shop that's on your same block, and you just go to it every single day, even though they don't put out new items every day, you're not going to find any gold. There's no gold to be found. But if you drive a little farther to a thrift store that has that gets more product flowing through it, or you go to more yard sales, or you learn how to online source, you're going to find more gold because you're going to where the gold is. That's what I was trying to portray here. I like the quote, more than one ways to skin a cat. My wife doesn't. My wife loves animals. She loves animals and dogs, and I don't even mean literally skinning a cat. It's just a saying, but she doesn't like it when I say that. What is the best way to get a lot of good feedback? Buy a ton of basketball cards. No, just just be a good seller on eBay and buy things off of eBay. Whenever you need shampoo, get it off of eBay. Whenever you need deodorant, get it off of eBay. Just get a ton of small purchases, buy a ton of things for $1 or $5 or $6, and you almost always get immediate feedback for just buying. So that's a really good way too. How many items do you have in your store when you went full time? I don't know. So it's kind of a hard question to answer because I'm just like an entrepreneur in general. So I had a pest control company that actually just sold like 2 weeks ago, and I've always done like side projects. So like I've never like really been like eBay full time. I've just always worked like 14 hours a day, almost every day of my life. So, but to answer your question, probably around like 900 items. But I wouldn't recommend how many items are in your store to go full time. I would recommend how many items you sell consistently every day. So like if you want to go full time, make sure that you are making more money than your bills each day. So if you have $3,000 in bills each day, let's just say that there's 30 days per month, which typically there's 30.4162 if we want to be completely literal, but there's 30 each day, so that means your bills are $100. Every time you wake up and your feet hit the floor, you owe your bills $100 a day. So make sure that you're making more than your bills. And if you do that consistently, you're ready to go full time. But I wouldn't go full time until I was making, honestly. So I wouldn't go full time until you have 6 months of bills in your savings account. So in this example, if your bills are $3,000 a month, 3 times 6 is 18,000. So I wouldn't go full time until you had about $20,000 in your bank account and you were making double your bills every day. I've been binge watching your content and I'm very grateful for what you are doing. keep sharing your knowledge, and most important, your faith. Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I love sharing my eBay knowledge. Yeah, I don't know how to accept compliments. Thank you. Today's eBay authenticity program hit me with a not as described ruling, which caused an automatic refund of $575. So now I have 2 days to come up with that amount. Yeah, so that can really be a sticky situation. Again, that's another reason why I would not go full time until I had 6 months of bills in my account for situations that could arise like this one. My advice to you is to don't. This sucks. $600. That is very unfortunate. But don't let this $600 stand in your way of making $100,000 this year, selling 10 to 15 items a day. Does that make sense? Dude, that sucks. I'm not taking that away from you whatsoever. Yeah, I'm really sorry that happened to you, but you just got to keep grinding or find a different path that isn't going to lead to things like this if it really has you down in the dumps. But you can walk away from this making money. It's a really terrible situation. Where do you buy all your packing supplies, bubble wrap, poly mailers, etc.? I just buy them off of eBay, and I don't buy them from the same place each time. I just type into eBay bubble wrap, and I buy the first or second thing that comes up. Type in poly mailers, and I buy the first or second thing that comes up. You have the best content and tips in 3 weeks than I have heard over a year. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That is surprisingly a very common comment on my videos, and I'm very grateful to hear those comments because that is my goal. So thank you very much. One thing I have learned with getting through cancer, no one ever died for or by giving, and I'm so blessed since I understood that concept. So my dad also had cancer. I know a lot of cancer survivors. Whether you believe in God or not, they did a study that people who pray have a better chance of surviving. Maybe that's God stepping in, but on a scientific level, people who have something to look for do better. People who have a consistent routine do better. People who have positive self-talk and tell themselves they're going to get through something or they're going to crush something, they do better. And that's the focus that we need to have in our eBay businesses too. There's a lot of negative aspects that go into reselling. But if we tell ourselves, we got this, we gonna get it. Hey, you good, bro? Just found out about you recently and you've helped a lot. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope I can continue to help people. I was worried about eBay limiting amount of items because I reached a cap of 250 when I needed to ask for more. How fast can I scale? It's actually pretty similar to credit cards. So anyone that's had a credit card, you know that you have your limit, right? And then if you continue to pay off your balance, then they're going to give you a bigger limit. And then if you keep paying off that balance, they're going to give you a bigger limit because they trust you to not get into a sticky situation where you can't pay your credit card bill. Same here with eBay. If you continue to just list items and have good feedback, ship out your items properly, then eBay is just going to keep giving you limit extensions. The way that I grew my business is I just grew at a good enough rate that eBay just like kept shoveling me listings and listings and listings. So just make sure that your items are selling. And if your items are selling consistently, you can call eBay and they'll give you more items, or they'll just keep giving you those automatic updates. Edward says 900 items. I'm such a failure. I don't know what you're talking about. 900 items is awesome. And even if you didn't have 900 items, I'm sure you're not a failure. You're here on YouTube trying to learn about the business that you're running. So you're doing great in my eyes. Hey, do you have a video on how to ship certain things? Like I want to ship clothes and stuff, but I have no idea what to put it in to ship. Yeah, that is my most requested video. I have been out of town for the last 4 or 5 days, so I haven't been able to actually sit down and make videos of that nature. But that is on my to-do list. I'm going to get shipping videos out as quick as I can. Technically, everyone... Oh, I was reading a comment and it just got retracted, so never mind. Amen. Positive is better. Yes, it is. I am now your subscriber. I love your Christian values. It's very refreshing. Hey, thank you so much. I just got invited onto a podcast. If anyone caught my live last time, they heard me talking about this. I want to talk about how, like, in business, you're not for everyone. Some people click away when I talk about my Christian faith, and that's okay. I'm just not for everyone. And then there's some people that if you start swearing, they click away. And if that's who you are, then just keep being you. You're not for everyone. You don't have to appeal to everyone because you never will. So be you and understand you're not for everyone, and your community and your audience will grow accordingly. What do you think about Muslim community? I am taught as a Christian to respect them. Yeah, I respect everybody. It doesn't matter what you believe or what you look like or what you sound like. I think everyone's a good person. Yeah, I think you should. I think that your factory reset should be to respect people and to give everyone the benefit of the doubt until they have shown you that they aren't, that they shouldn't be respected. And there are some people that shouldn't be respected. If someone tries to, rob you or harm your family, like you need to defend yourself. So you know what I mean? Subscribed for sure. This is a fast forward, great advice instead of watching videos. Keep up the good work. Yeah. If any of you guys want to grow on YouTube, here's a tip: get directly into the content. Don't say, "Hey, in this video we're going to talk about this," or "Hey, thank you for coming to my channel. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you are alerted every time I make a video." Just get right into it. Like, people in my comments are always saying how they appreciate how I just get right into the content. That's a good metaphor for life. Like, just give people what you advertise. How much do you make monthly off of eBay? During quarter 4 and quarter 1, I was making about $30,000 to $35,000 a month. Currently, I'm making about $25,000 a month. With all these new people coming into the resale game, do you think it's going to get harder for small-time resellers to go full-time? Absolutely not. I think this is the best time to resell ever. More people are donating than ever. Okay, here's some not so awesome information. The obesity in America and in the world in general is increasing, which is also causing donations to be increased as well. People are donating clothing more than they ever have because they outgrow their old clothes. So they instead of throwing it away, they donate it and then they get new clothes. So there's more clothes to buy to resell, and there are more people shopping online now than ever before, and that just continues to grow and grow and grow. So more people are buying consistently online, then more new people are selling online. So I believe that it will continue to get better and better. But just like in every industry, the top 20% of people get 80% of the sales. So you got to do your best to be one of the best. In every single industry, no matter where you are, there's always the top earners, and then the median, and then the low earners. Whether it's eBay, real estate, selling cars, flipping burgers, going to Taco Bell, there's always people who are just better at their job than others, and those people make more money. And that's just the way it is. So I think that reselling is going to get easier over time until AI steps in. But we'll see how long it takes for that, and we'll see if AI can even actually do that, because one of the biggest processes of reselling is determining condition. So it'll be interesting to see if artificial intelligence can spot the difference in conditions of things. I said technically the average person is dying, but super slowly. We should always give people respect, even if you don't agree with them. I 100% agree. Yep. Yeah, I mean, so I went on a mission to a third world country, and one of the things that I learned the most is that we're all the same, man. Like, doesn't matter where you come from or who you are. It's people are people, man. The best quote I resonate with when doing anything, especially something new, is never compare ourselves to others, only learn how they are successful. I agree. Compare yourself to yourself. I compared Jake today to Jake a year ago, or Jake today to Jake 10 days ago. And I'm always striving to be a better Jake, but I don't compare myself to really anyone else. But there's a lot to learn from other people. Just don't compare yourself to them. How do you handle a return where the tracking says the item is delivered, but the item did not show up to the buyer's claims? They never received it, both as a buyer and a seller. You tell them, you go in to the claim and you copy and paste the tracking information, that's enough for eBay to say, hey, as a seller, you did the best that you could do. If the buyer demands a refund, eBay will take care of it. You won't receive a strike and you won't have to give them the refund. eBay takes care of that because you've done all you could do as a seller. That's probably the most common question I've seen over the years. 25K a month. Wow. Yeah, it's dude, eBay is really good to me. You're awesome, and thanks again, bro. How to do your eBay taxes, and does eBay make it easy with the tally? Yeah, so there's a lot of information within the eBay dashboard when it comes time for tax season. I'm not a CPA or a tax professional, so I definitely contact a CPA for that. One thing I hate is when people are rude to Muslims because of what they wear, and also because of the news of as in terrorists. Yeah, so here's the thing. When it like everyone should respect everyone, but a lot of people don't. So when it comes to life, like you just my one of my biggest philosophies of life is hope for the best and expect the worst. So like when I walk outside, I expect people to be rude to me, and when they're nice to me, it's just a bonus. So it's awesome. When I launch a video, I expect people to thrash me about my physical appearance, about my voice, about the tips that I give, about the knowledge. I just expect it to be an onslaught of sludge and grime. And then when it's not, awesome. Like I was ready for the worst and it ended up being better. What a great life. You make 25,000 in profit or gross? Yeah, so it's different in variance every month, but yeah, I make about $20,000 to $30,000 in profit any given month. I have a friend who is missionarying out in Uganda. Yeah, that's cool. I had a couple friends go to Uganda as well. With you being as raw and honest as you are about reselling what sells and what doesn't, not only are you helping so many small time resellers, but you are also going to make it being because of that. Make it big because of that. Yeah, like I said, give more value than you can receive, and you'll start to receive more value than you can give. Thank you for the compliment. Sweet. Well, we've been here for an hour and 22 minutes. Those last 22 minutes just flew by. I was going to stop this at an hour. But thank you guys so much for asking all those questions and just taking the time to come hang out with me. 68 likes on this video. That's pretty good. At one point, I had over 100 people in this video, and I got my first pesos super like. So that was really awesome. Yeah, thank you guys for the awesome live. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Um, in the description, I have this. If you want to be like a supporter of the channel, it's $2.99 a month. Don't feel obligated to do that whatsoever. But I don't know. It's just a fun way to support your favorite YouTubers, I guess. Some people do buy me a coffee. I just do it all through YouTube. If you'd like to do that, I don't expect anyone to. Honestly, I don't think you should. But if you want to, go ahead. So I'm gonna continue to give you guys as much free information as I can. And yeah, just keep watching the videos, keep coming to the lives, and share with me who you guys really are, and ask me some questions about myself personally too. I'd love. It sounds weird, but I'd love to have a community here. I never understood that. I heard other YouTubers talk about community, but I never understood it until people started coming to my lives, and now I definitely understand it. So let's get to know each other a little bit better, and let's start making more money on our eBay business and beyond. So thanks for coming out, guys. Bye.